So thank you so much, Lisbeth, for joining me for this conversation today. And I thought we could get started by you telling us a little bit more about the organization, Living with Bladder and Kidney Cancer, how it started, how it works, and a little bit about the work that you do.
Yes. Thank you very much for the invitation, Alex. And it is a lovely surprise to be able to emphasize on the work that we're doing. Living with Bladder and Kidney Cancer in the Netherlands started in 2008. And in the Netherlands, it is quite customary that for diseases, you start a patient organization. And this is a patient organization for patients, through patients. They do not have a huge office and a lot of people working for it. It is a small board with volunteers, and we only have one project manager helping us, and she is paid. And well, the main activities that we do is we give information. We are advocates for this disease towards doctors and the government and patients, of course. And we organize sufferer support. And fellow sufferer support is very important because people would like, we see that people like to talk to people who have the same disease. So they feel that they are not the only ones. And it's the interesting thing about fellow sufferer support is that patients speak each other's languages. They know what you're talking about. They know when you talk about your disappointment that your sexuality has gone after the operation, somebody understands because they had the same and they were not warned about it either. So I think we can say that we are small, but we are very active, and we work very closely together with an umbrella organization for other cancer diseases. And so we can team up with a lot of organizations.
And so what are the main challenges that people affected by bladder cancer face in the Netherlands?
Well, I think it starts with the beginning. And when you look at the patient pathway, when they have complaints, they have to go to their GP. And not all GPs take blood in your urine very as a disease. Especially with women, they say, well, this can happen, and perhaps it's a urinary tract infection, and it's especially with men. About 7,000 people in the Netherlands on a yearly basis have the diagnosis bladder cancer, and the majority is men. And we see that the majority is elder men, 70 plus, with comorbidity. And when at the end they go to the general practitioner, sometimes they are sent home and said, give it another 2 months and look how it goes, and don't be too worried. So sometimes when they go to the urologist, they are too late, and it is already muscle invasive. And so it's I think that's one of the problems they bump into in the Netherlands. And especially in the Corona period, they had a lot of problems in being able to go to a hospital and get diagnosis and treatment. There are several hospitals in the Netherlands that are specialized centers of excellence for bladder cancer, but not all general practitioners send patients towards those hospitals, because they sometimes think that it is better for a patient to go to the hospital around the corner which is very near and it is so convenient, but that is nice and convenient for a distance, but it's not nice and convenient for your diagnosis and your treatment. And so that's I think it starts with that, and then finding a good doctor and asking the right questions. I mean, what does this disease mean for me? What kind of treatments are there, and are they all suitable for me in my circumstances? Shared decision making is very important, but you have to have some knowledge to have a shared decision making.
And how does the Living with Bladder and Kidney Cancer as an organization work to address some of these challenges or support people affected by bladder cancer facing these challenges that you just mentioned?
Well, we are an active organization. We have members and we organize member meetings. We have a website, we have a quarterly magazine, we have a newsletter every month. So we try to communicate with our members and people who prescribed for the newsletter. But not all patients become a member the minute they get their first diagnosis. So we are asking all the doctors to emphasize how important it is, and the nurses, the specialist nurses, how important it is to make patients aware that there is a patient organization, and they have so many benefits of being a member of a patient organization. And the benefit is not only for the patient, it is for the doctor as well, because a well-informed patient is a better patient.
What are the most popular activities the organization undertakes, or any resources that you have that patients and caregivers make the most use of, or that are the most popular that you provide?
I think what we try to support them to, as best we can, to give them the treatment possibilities, what their advantages and disadvantages are per treatment. We help them with shared decision making. We give them information about the expert centers and where to go to and what to ask. We have the quality of life during cancer projects, sexuality projects. We are active in the equal access to innovative medicine and palliative care.
So there's really a big range of resources that...
It is, and that's the nice thing to work with other cancer patient organizations, because we needn't do all ourselves. We can work together with prostate cancer and female OBGYN problems. We work together in sexuology, and even with breast cancer we can team up, because you can find your friends everywhere. You just have to have a keen open eye who your friends are. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there is a friends and family as well in the coalition globally, right? Especially in our community as well as the World Bladder Cancer Patient Coalition. And as you know, one of the biggest missions for us as an international organization is support and grow the network, the community, and support the establishment of bladder cancer patient groups around the world. So what is, if you had to give one piece of advice for someone just starting a bladder cancer patient group or bladder cancer patient support network in their community or their country, what is one piece of advice that you would offer them?
When you start small. Do it step by step. I mean, I think the biggest mistake is that you want to do it all from the start, and that's not possible, because you make mistakes and people get angry because you cannot do what you promise. So start small, find sponsors, sponsored financially, but sponsors in other ways as well. Try to find a cancer patient organization which is bigger than you are and more experienced to give you the help you need. Go to the World Bladder Cancer Patient Coalition and ask for help, and perhaps they can offer you a twinning project with one of the more experienced organizations. And never forget that you are there for the patients. You're not there for the doctors. You're not there for the pharmaceutical industry. You are there as an advocate for the patients. So ask them what they need.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I think that's a very good piece of advice, by starting small and taking it step by step. Well, thank you so much for joining me today for this conversation. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure our community, whether they're just starting out completely or thinking of starting a patient organization to support people affected by bladder cancer, or a growing one, will be very happy to hear and learn from you. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity, and we love to be a part of the World Bladder Cancer Patient Coalition. Thank you.